YouTube's Mikey Lux got another video for you. This one's on TenX. How much money can you make with TenX? Stay tuned, it'll blow your mind. Alright guys, I've been doing my homework on TenX and wanted to bring you some update. I want to delve in a little further. If you're new here and you don't know what TenX is a cryptocurrency credit card company that has a very special killer app that allows you to on the fly spend multiple altcoins without converting it to fiat first. So when those currencies are sitting in your wallet, they're still crypto, meaning that you're maintaining and retaining the value of that cryptocurrency, which is amazing. This app is a game changer. They do all their in-house development on the software. I watched a video with Cliff High about another company that was a potential competitor named Centra. Turned out not to be such a great company. They're just trying to use open source that can't do anything that this company can do. This company has real developers, real development. This is serious. Alright, so I watched another video, kind of went into how much money you could make by owning the TenX token over time. So I wanted to see that for myself, and I'm going to share it with you guys as well. You'll be able to download this Excel spreadsheet in the link description so you can put in your numbers and see what you could earn with TenX over the next couple of years. You're going to be very surprised. Let's first start off with the white paper, because this is where I pulled the information from. Put out June the 21st. Get to the part here. Here's the 36-month roadmap. This is important information on TenX. In the first year, 2018, they're projecting 1 million users and 3 markets: Asia, Europe, North America, with a transaction volume of $1 billion. 2019, 10 million users. They're going to add South America and Africa. They're also wanting to get a banking license, and if they do achieve their banking license, all these numbers that I'm about to throw out to you change and go up. And they're looking at $20 billion in transaction volume. Up to 2020, they're looking at 50 million plus users with a global market, meaning they're in 270 countries that accept MasterCard and Visa. And they're going to support global tokens. The transaction volume is going to be $100 billion. Okay, so you go from 1 billion to 100 billion in a 3-year period. They're getting into different services, trading, ETFs. They're going to get a banking license, which is huge, and they're going to do lending as well. They're going to go into derivative services in 2020. Now, from that information, I made a little calculator here up. So I have 4,600 tokens. Okay, so I wanted to see what 4,600 tokens would look like from year 18 on this roadmap, and I pulled all the information from the white paper. So at 4,600 tokens, I'll be getting like 6 cents per tokens on that $1.2 billion projection. That's a monthly payout of $21.98 and an annual $263. Not that great, but hey, it's their first year. Second year, it's $4,000 annually, $366 a month payouts. Now that's not too shabby. That's extra groceries, that's a car payment. By 2020 though, things are getting real. And this is $21,000 a year. That's $1,800 a month. I mean, that's a rent, a house payment. That's $4 per token. So it's starting to get real right around 2020. You see how it's progressing up, 20 billion, 100 billion. I just doubled it to 200 billion here by 2021. And you can see that I'm making $43,000 a year and $3,000 a month. That's real good money there. And then I just went up 50 billion each year after that. I didn't try to get crazy with the numbers. As you can see, I'm at 54,000 and then 65,000. But here's the cool thing about all this. Over this period of time, 6 years, I've netted $191,000 off of my not doing anything, just being a TenX pay holder. $191,451. Let's talk about valuation. Would I sell my 4,000 token for any less than double what that would be worth? Maybe 4 times what that would be worth? What I'm saying is if my tokens were, let's just make the math easy. 4,000 tokens, $100, that's $400,000. That's only 2x what this would produce in 6 years. That would be probably the minimum I would sell my tokens for. And by the way, this spreadsheet is free for download. If you want to plug your tokens in here and see what you would make, say you got 10,000 tokens, you can see you're almost at $500,000. You can see how this card could be very profitable to own over a 20-year period. Now, in some of these videos that I watched, he's saying that these cards are going to go away probably in the next 10 years. Regular debit cards will not be needed, but they will still be able to provide money because they're going to get into the Comet network. It's huge. This is how they're going to make money even without credit cards. So when other credit card companies are going out of business, they have a plan for. I'm going to let the CEO talk about the Comet network.
Imagine you can't use debit cards anymore because they're not needed. How are you gonna? Why are you still here? What's your reason for being here? And for us, the answer is, well, we are a payment service. Right now, we use debit cards. We're going to add other payment services, but we're going to be able to connect through Comet directly, user with a merchant, and it's going to work directly. And we just facilitate that payment, and our pay token holders will still make money on these payment transactions.
Okay, so I found something very interesting in this video. It's a number that I've always kind of wondered what the next 10 or 20 years were going to look like in the cryptocurrency sphere. And the CEO actually had an answer for that he got from some study that was done. I'm going to get into that right now.
Bubble or whatever. And my down-to-earth answer is, it really depends on what you define as a bubble. If you define as a bubble that the entire ecosystem is in a bubble, I totally don't think so. I think we're just at the very beginning. I think this entire thing is going to grow. I mean, it's not even my opinion. You look at the World Economic Forum, they predict 100x over the next 10 years of the entire ecosystem. So let's say we're 100 billion, 120, doesn't matter. And 100x, we're talking about, you can do the math, we're talking about 8 to 10 trillions of dollars in that ecosystem. That's not me, that's the World Economic Forum. So I don't see a bubble in the crypto space as a total. Where I see a huge bubble is in very specific cryptocurrencies. And a very simple question you should just ask yourself is, go through the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market cap and ask yourself the following question. Which of these 100 cryptocurrencies have an existing business model, have an existing application, an existing use case, have actual users who actually use that cryptocurrency, not just to invest and speculate for a price increase, but actually want to use that token or use that coin? And the scary thing is this, out of 100 currencies, you probably need only 2 hands to count those cryptocurrencies where you have actual use cases, actual applications, actual businesses behind them. Do I see a bubble in those other 90%? Yes, I do. And I think it's going to show, once the tide starts to recede, who was swimming naked. And it was in TenX, we always wanted to have this vision that at any time, whenever the market starts to recede and it's like the key businesses need to stand out, we always wanted to be sure that we have a proper business model. We can go cash flow positive at any time. And that has always been a big mission of ours. And I think we're on a very good track for that. And I think we really have that. We're going to have some announcements with large exchanges in and outside of China over the next couple of weeks coming up. So, I mean, I think there's always something happening. Manage to connect blockchains. If you manage to connect Bitcoin and Ethereum, connect these various things, this is the holy grail. If you manage to do that, it's fantastic. There's pretty much 2 solutions on how you can connect blockchains. The first one is the tokenized solution. There's companies out there who do this with a token. So you need to buy a token, and that token connects you to the other blockchains. It's not the solution we wanted to go with Comet, because we feel if you have to rely on a third-party token, why use that third-party token? Why not use another third-party token? So we used the internet as an example, where we say the internet is nothing else than a protocol that connects intranets among each other. It's a TCP/IP protocol. And so for us, we wanted to go that same route. And so Comet is nothing else than a network of blockchains where you don't need a third party. So you can actually connect directly between the blockchains. And that's done through a protocol that is not even that far away. I mean, we've been testing this protocol, especially between Bitcoin and Litecoin, which is quite straightforward to do. We're trying to test it between Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's people, for example, from the Lightning Network on Bitcoin. They're also testing similar things. So it's not something that's so distant off, and it's going to be a collaboration of work. So it's not going to be something where we're like, we own Comet or we work on Comet. Comet is a concept. It's a concept of a cryptographically secure network that works off-chain, cross-chain, connecting multiple assets, multiple blockchains, and it works instant. And if that is ever going to be achieved, and I say if because there are some questions, especially when it comes to routing, especially when it comes to the liquidity providing. But if these things get achieved on a global scale, this is going to be a total breakthrough to the entire ecosystem, in my opinion. What you can do is you can own Litecoin without ever owning it. You're controlling it. That's the interesting thing. So it's this concept of you never needing a Litecoin wallet. All you do is you control Litecoin by controlling Bitcoin. And that's a really, really fascinating idea, because that means, imagine you have a store, and let's say you are a very relevant example. So we have just been 10 days ago, we got invited to speak with MAS. MAS is the Monetary Authority of Singapore. They are like the central bank here. And so we at TenX went there, and they are working on a project called Ubin, where they want to really make the Singapore dollar go on the blockchain. So imagine you're in 5 years and everyone in Singapore accepts Singapore dollar tokens. and you don't own Singapore dollar tokens, and you're not interested in owning Singapore dollar tokens. Just like today with a credit card, you can just go, you own your US dollars or euros or whatever, and when you travel in another country, all you spend is you spend, and it just deducts in your own currency. You never actually have to own that currency. You just control it for a fraction of a second. So imagine you come to Singapore and you pay in Singapore dollars, but you never own Singapore dollars. And the way it works is you own Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin you own control the Singapore dollar in that very moment of a fraction of a second. So you can pay with Bitcoin, but in that very moment, you pay actually in Singapore dollars. And that's totally decentralized. So there's no one that you have to trust. It's completely decentralized because it's all smart contracts, and it allows you to control other cryptocurrencies without ever owning it. And that's a very interesting thing, because you don't need to know new wallet, you don't need to trust an exchange, you don't need to trust anything else. You just trust the blockchain that you're on. And if you're comfortable with that blockchain, you can stay on there and you control all the others. And that's the long-term kind of vision in this.
Awesome. So this company is going for a banking license. This company has a killer app. This company has the Commit network. I want to give a shout out to Box Mining. They did a great interview with the TenX CEO. I'm going to put a link in the description. All right. Hey, thanks for the support, YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll be getting more videos out to you. Mike Luck out.